beautiful skies and lollipops? Do you dream
Oh
about?
my God.
What? Listen, you don't want to know my literal dreams. There's some crazy stuff that happens in there, but I'm lucky some days that I can put a ponytail in my hair.
Erica Enders running for her 5th NHRA Pro Stock Championship. Erica, 22 years ago when we started Speed Freaks, were you even collecting money for winning races back then?
As a minor, yes. I started racing Pro Stock 18 years ago. Prior to that, I drove Super Common Super Gas for 5 years and Junior Dragsters for 9. So I'm working on year 31 behind the wheel of something, but been a fan of y'all's for ever since.
Erica Enders, again, running for her fifth NHRA Pro Stock Championship. And I'm afraid to turn this over to Statman, Erica, because I think you're quietly paying this guy underneath the table, because I haven't found anyone a bigger fan than Statman.
Oh, Greg Anderson's kids.
Oh,
I mean, they wear Erica Enders shirts in the pits, right?
I don't think so anymore.
Yeah, her dad probably had something to say about that. Yeah, right.
Probably.
But Erica Enders, it's not lost on us what you've done and continue to do as a Pro Stock pilot. You're setting all kinds of records, and you're getting into that realm where Erica Enders' name should be talked about as one of the greatest ever drag racers. I know you might be thinking like, what the? No, but you're at that point now, Erica, that you're doing that. Is that humbling? Have you thought about that? Do people remind you of the significance of what you're doing in NHRA Pro Stock?
Yeah, we've been reminded a few times this year because of the season that we've had. But as a racer at heart, I just kind of focus on the goals that I set at the beginning of the year. And, we've been really fortunate to knock a whole bunch of stuff off of that goal sheet this year. We just accomplished our 9th victory out of 11 finals, and we've only been to 17 races. We have 2 remaining in Vegas and Pomona, and we're hopeful, obviously, to lock up that 5th world championship. But it's, as a little girl, just dreaming big dreams, I had always hoped to be in the position that I am. So yes, when you think about it, it definitely is surreal. It definitely is humbling. But on the other side of it, being a perfectionist, I just want more. So not being greedy, just want to keep going for it.
It's incredible to me. You talked at the beginning of this interview about 31 years behind the wheel. When was the movie that came out? What year was that with you and your sister?
So it came out in March of 2003. So this spring will be 20 years ago, which if that doesn't make me feel old, I don't know what does. But just kind of a crazy ride that we've been on.
And then how was that all put together? And then how did that spearhead you into the top ranks of NHRA?
So my sister Courtney and I raced Junior Dragsters together. She's 3 years younger, so we were always in different age brackets, and together we won the Spring Nationals in Texas and became the first sisters to win an event together. And People Magazine did a little 1-page article on us. And one of the Disney executives saw the article in the magazine, which just so happened at that time they were doing a series of movies about females in male-dominated sports. They had Double Teamed, which was about the twin sisters that played basketball, and Motocross, which was about the girl that, cut her hair short to look like a boy so she could ride motocross. And then they did Right on Track, which was about Courtney and I in the Junior Drag Racing League. So from the time that they called us till the time the movie was released was 5 years. So it was quite the process, but we were involved in every step. Courtney and I were on set the entire 6 weeks that we filmed the movie, and we did all of the stunt driving and got to be a part of it. And it was just a really cool experience.
Would you welcome a remake of sorts, obviously modernized with what you're doing in not just NHRA, but in motorsports in general as a badass female driver now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we would probably be punted off of the Disney network, but we could maybe get on some other sort of network. But the movie, since Junior Drag Racing, there have been a lot of things that have happened through our career that probably aren't suitable for children, but it would definitely be cool to see a sequel.
Hey, Dad, what are you going to buy at the store today?
I'm out of Lucas Oil fuel treatment, so let's jump in here and grab us some.
Well, do they have the Lucas Oil parts cleaner and degreaser?
I bet they do.
Well, how about the Lucas Oil power steering fluid?
You know, they'll have that too.
Even the octane booster?
I won't be surprised if they do.
My favorite red and tacky grease?
Yes, they will, babe.
Dad, when we're done, can we grab some candy?
Deal, but you gotta share.
Awesome! Lucas works.
Erica Enders is going for a 5th championship. There's a lot of guys out there that got a lot of headlines and sponsors standing in line, and they don't have 1 or 2 championships. You're going for your 5th. There was a time, Erica, when you couldn't get you couldn't get sponsorship, even though you had championships. I would assume those days are gone.
Well, finding marketing partners and sponsorship dollars are probably the most challenging part of our business. We've been really blessed with some great partners over the years. I have Melling Performance, Gallagher, People Lease, C-Tech, CHE, a bunch of guys that make all this possible. High Performance Lubricants, Mark Stockseth. You go down the list of people that help you accomplish your dream day in and day out, and it's kind of crazy to know that they're on board and they believe in you more than we believe in ourselves. So it's pretty awesome to have those guys. But there were definitely some years that it was pretty thin and we had to make it work. But starting off in pro stock in 2005, that was my debut. We went 7 years without a win. So there was a lot of those valleys that make these peaks that much sweeter. So it's been a long road, but a really fun one.
Wow, once you won, they couldn't grab it out of your cold dead hands, for crying out loud. You've been beating them up for a long time. You mentioned dreaming, and I fought the urge to ask you this, but it keeps coming up. You do dream, evidently. What do you dream about?
I dream about being the best there ever was, and that's been my goal since I started. Very tall order, obviously, with the talent that our sport has seen, especially in pro stock, with the likes of Bob Glidden and Warren Johnson and Greg Anderson, who's still competing. It's just crazy. But as a little girl that raced junior dragsters and watched my dad, grew up at the track watching my dad race sportsmen, it's just something that I always wanted to do. I just 3rd grade project, right? Kids are saying, yeah, I want to be an astronaut or a doctor or a lawyer. I always wanted to be a race car driver, and here we are. So those were the dreams that I had, and I'm getting to walk them every single day, and I'm super blessed for that.
Wow. So when you wake up in the morning, those are really dreams you had the night before? You don't dream about beautiful skies and lollipops? You dream about...
Yeah.
What? Listen, you don't want to know my literal dreams. There's some crazy stuff that happens in there. But, I'm lucky some days that I can put a ponytail in my hair. But other days I have aspirations to be a great race car driver.
Come on, you got to tell us one. You can't just...
So I have this reoccurring dream that I'm like trying to get suited up and get in my race car, and I can't get my belts fastened quick enough, and I can't get my helmet on, and they're waiting for me, and I'm gonna miss the call. And it's kind of like one of those nightmares that you have when the bad guy's chasing you, and for some reason you can't run and you can't scream. It's one of those deals. But that dream happens a lot, that I can't get in my car fast enough to get up to the starting line.
Wow, I've had that dream, for crying out loud. That's crazy. All right, I have something in common with Erica Enders. I could live the rest of the day with that one.
Erica, have you ever had a dream where you couldn't get the car in first gear at the starting line?
No, I haven't had that one. Knock on wood.
Yeah. Way to go, Kenny.
Sorry.
Way to put that in our head.
That's not a dream. That's a nightmare, for crying out loud.
For sure.
Erica, you mentioned earlier that part of the rest of your story is to be mentioned in and amongst the greats. But you mentioned in that part, Warren Johnson, Greg Anderson, Bob Glidden. I want you up there with John Force, with Snake, with Don Garlitz. You are so young and so accomplished right now, going for your 5th title. You've got so much time to do that, to vault your name into the top 3 of all time, not just pro stock. Do you agree?
Thank you, Crash. I mean, that's just crazy to even think about. But yeah, I mean, I just, I'll go ahead and throw my age out there. I just turned 39 last week, and, I feel like I still have a long way to go. I'm not Greg Anderson is just a little bit over 60. So if I race for 20 more years till I get to his age, you think about what we could accomplish if we continue on the trend that we're on. But, Bob Glidden was a dear friend of mine and a mentor, and I was able to work with him when I raced for Jim Cunningham back in 08, 9, and 10. And, he has 10 Pro Stock World Championships, but then you go on to the names that you mentioned, like John Force, who's obviously the winningest with 16 World Championships. It's just like, you think of that and it's mind boggling because, we're hopefully competing for our 5th right now. And that's a long ways to go. I'm not sure if I want to race that long, but either way, we've been able to accomplish a ton. And with that last win, I think we moved into 5th or 6th of all-time winners in Pro Stock, which is pretty substantial, with only Bob Glidden, Warren Johnson, Greg Anderson, and Jake Coughlin ahead of me. So those are some pretty crazy names to have my name listed next to.
Hey, Crasher, I think I've done the math, and I'm not being funny here. I think John Force, if my math is correct, it's right around these years. John Force he's 73, and he won his 5th championship at 95. So that's 5, that's 22, 27. So that's 50. Yeah, that's what, mid-40s for John Force when he won his 5th. So come on, Erica, you'll have 7 or 8 by the time John Force won his 5th.
I hope you're right. That would be really cool. But I never thought of it that way. But he is obviously the GOAT and the man, and full of stories, and the things that he's been through and accomplished are pretty substantial.
Hey, I've got something for you. Her name, of course, is Erica Enders, running for her 5th Pro Stock Championship, and from all intents and purposes can wrap it up in Las Vegas before Pomona. Again, look what John Force has done. Put that out of the picture, but look what if you had the setup and the setup, or maybe the mentality, or those 7 years when you didn't have a win or a championship, what was missing? Why didn't you win races or championship those first 7 years compared to where you are now?
I think, having more seat time obviously makes you a better driver. It's like if you play a stick and ball sport, if you practice every day, you're obviously going to get better. So over the years, the seat time obviously taught me to be a better driver. Coming from behind in a car that typically couldn't qualify when we set foot on the property, and having to rise to the occasion and have really good reaction times. And then, of course, all of the races that I didn't qualify, just went up there and sat on the wall and watched these other Pro Stock drivers, what they were doing, what they liked, what they didn't like, what their tendencies were. All of those years and all of those things made me a better driver. So I would attribute the lack of success to inexperience, maybe not having the right group of people around me, because the people are the most important part of the puzzle. Not taking from the groups that I raced with before, but just kind of finding your way, and that chemistry that you can't buy or create is just natural, and that's something that we are really lucky to have here at Elite. And another thing about the people is the guys that I work with, none of them are trying to stab me in the back or snake my ride. They don't want my seat. That's stuff that I had to deal with at other teams. So being able to just get in the car, focus on what I have to do, having the right people around me, and just, of course, hard work. All of those things made us a lot better. But those rough 7 years at the start were a great learning experience, and absolutely the reason why I am the driver I am today.
For whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Are you the CEO of your team? Like, do you make the decisions, or do you drive for somebody? Maybe this is something I should know, but are you the one in charge and everybody looks to it? So what do we do now?
Well, I drive for a gentleman named Richard Freeman. He owns Elite Motorsports, and it's myself, Bo Butner, TJ Coughlin, and Aaron Stanfield under this Elite banner. And then we've also teamed up with the Quadra family, who own Corral Boots and Quadra Boots, and they are from Leon, Mexico. So there are 3 drivers out of that camp. So altogether we have a 7-car team, but Richard's the boss. He's the head honcho. He's crazy and has a ton of energy, but I think I'm more like team mom, and I plan all of the logistics, like our hotels and the flights for the guys. Richard has a plane, so we all from Oklahoma fly on that. But I handle all of the logistics of getting 42 guys there and making sure that they're fed and happy and whatever, and then drive the race car and work on sponsorship stuff. So not the CEO, but the everything else. Oh,
that's a business card. Eric, the everything else. Oh,
that's greatness.
I love that. And I love what you said about your first 7 years. We've touched on it a few times now in this interview, because I think it's something anybody in any business can really can glean from. You failed forward. You said you were watching guys on the starting line. You were learning about other people's tendencies. That's what you do when you don't have the success immediately yourself. You find out what's making other people successful. And now look at you. You're running with it. I just cannot get over you saying that. And do you understand how powerful that was? You saying that, because it's just that translates to everybody in all businesses.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think it's the journey of getting there that makes it that much sweeter. Everybody these days is about instant gratification. And these kids that are coming on board, being able to jump in a car that's capable of winning the first time they get in one is something that was unheard of when I first started racing pro stock. So the lessons are different for them. They're arrogant and cocky and just, I don't know. I was always taught to be humble and give others credit even when you do great. And it's been a crazy road. But yeah, I think you're right. I think that when you're going through these valleys, if you can just keep your eyes high, keep your eyes on your dream, and you're the only person that can set limitations for yourself. And all of those things I learned from my dad and his positive mental attitude coaching. And I know it sounds lame, as in addition to visualizing exactly what you want, but those are the things that make a champion, whether you're in the business world, whether you play a stick and ball sport, whether you're a drag racer. It just, you just got to focus really hard and continue to work at it. And while you get kicked in the knees and fall down, it doesn't matter how many times, you just got to keep getting up.
Erica Enders, 4-time NHRA Pro Stock champion, going for her 5th. Again, can wrap it up in Las Vegas, joining us here, Lucas Oil Studios. I want to go back to the one thing you said. We forget about in sports how, I don't care if you're a receiver for the Cardinals or the starting point guard for the Dallas Mavericks, there are people gunning for that position, whether on the practice team or someone on the bench. When you said people trying to snake the ride out of you, it reminded me that, yes, it's your seat isn't secure. So that's another thing that you've got to carry with you to that starting line. But to work with people that are after your seat, that actually happened to you. And how did you find out that these people were trying to get into your seat?
It was definitely interesting, but it's just another lesson on why you don't quit. In 2013, when I was driving for Victor Cagnazzi, some things happened throughout the season when a crew chief of mine would drive occasionally. And then we got to Las Vegas, and Richard Freeman at Elite had been talking to me, and he's like, you should come drive over here. And I'm loyal to a fault. So I was like, no, I love where I'm at. I got to work through that, and you got to break up with one boyfriend before you go out with another. So, it all went down in Las Vegas, and some things happened that, guys that work on my car while we were still in the points to be able to be capable of winning a championship. I believe we entered Las Vegas in 3rd, and a couple of my guys that worked on my car went over and helped another guy who ended up winning the race. And it just showed me that there was absolutely no loyalty except for my own. And, went on to Pomona, and some things happened there. And when I lost that round in Pomona, I went back to my trailer and I got my things. I got my logbook, my laptop, my racing equipment. I put it in my bag, and I walked across the street and threw it in the Elite Motorsports trailer. And that was the beginning of the next chapter of my life. So without divulging too much information, it just, it's like coming home and walking in on your husband. It ripped my heart out, and I hated how it went down, but it was a lesson in that not everybody's always going to treat you the way that you want to be treated or the way that you treat others. So you just you got to worry about yourself, and it's super cutthroat in the business world, and it's super cutthroat in drag racing. So I just had to man up and stand up for myself, and it opened a door to something I couldn't have even fathomed. Like working here at Elite Motorsports has been, back to that comment, a dream come true. These guys are awesome. And as a one-car team running a part-time schedule in 2014, we won our first world championship together, and we've never looked back. So it's been a blessing. And as somebody that is, I would use the word scared, but not super fond of change, it was definitely a huge deal for me, and made my stomach hurt to do it or to think about it. But it goes to show you that God has bigger plans than your own, and you just gotta follow his lead. So it opened the door to the biggest blessings in my entire life. And I've been here for 9 years now, and we ain't stopping.
That's not a Disney movie. That's a Lionsgate movie. That's something that the Marvel comics couldn't create that. Good for you. Just looking, that's good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I can say this, though. If you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, you'll see one of Erica Ender's favorite trophies behind her. It's an HP printer. What track did you win that HP printer from, Erica? Oops. Did we lose you? Did we lose you? Did we lose you? Oh, my gosh.
This is what you call Wynnewood, Oklahoma Wi-Fi. It's terrible. I'm sorry.
Listen, it's third world country in Oklahoma. I'm from Texas, and that's the only reason Texas doesn't fall in the ocean, because Oklahoma sucks. So I'm sorry.
That's exactly right. I'm from Texas too, and I'll agree with that.
Wow.
Oklahoma makes a good hat.
Bang! There you go. What a girl. Well, Erica, it's always fantastic.
Well, hold on. Go back to the printer.
Oh,
the printer shop. We see Wally. We see a bunch of champagne bottles, and then an HP printer.
This side's cooler.
There. Yeah. Ooh, whoa.
Look at that.
Whoa.
Man.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, baby.
Are those bottles all empty? Have you already taken care of that?
Oh, yeah. They're all gone except for one, and that's because I broke it in the winner's circle, and they were nice enough to give me a new one. So that one's not open, but the rest of them got chugged.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Erica running for her 5th championship, and she can wrap it up in Las Vegas. Whenever you wrap it up, we'll be happy for you, and we'll get you back in the Freak Nation to celebrate number 5, Erica.
Sounds awesome. Thank you guys so much. I adore y'all.
Thank you. I think likewise.
It's been fun watching you kick some ass with that smile of yours.
Oh, thank you. We're gonna see if we can hold our foot on their throats for 2 more races and seal the deal.
Erica, thank you for coming to the Freak Nation.
Thank you guys for having me on.